Netrita Sheta Sen Nukheka Nubraku Nupara Nukheka Discover Netarian philosophy through music, through video lectures, and through books by Ashby Dr. Muata Ashby. Peace be with you.
What's up? 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 For Haru welcomes our Sebai, our spiritual preceptor. It's not enough words can really express our feelings, emotional feelings, gratitude. We've been long asking for this particular occasion, and it's finally arrived. So on behalf of myself and the members of Haru and our visitors today, we would like to extend a hearty welcome to our Sebai, Dr. Muata Ashby. I hope this evening aspirants, as long as our visitors will find time to make use of this particular opportunity of having someone of this particular stature within our midst. It's not often that an occasion like this happens. I can tell you all the aspirants around the country, they are kind of cringing that Sirma is here. They've expressed it in different ways. But, it's just heartfelt for him to be here. And Sirma will turn the program over to Sirma, so he will conduct today's worship program.
We'll begin by conducting the regular daily worship program. And through that program, I will have a few words to say. And then afterwards, at the conclusion of the program, we'll have a meditation period, and then we'll have any time for questions and answers, anything you'd like to say at that time also. So, Saba. We'll conduct the program as it is listed in the daily worship manual. The program begins by prostration before the altar. Covering the altar and lighting the candle. The candle symbolizes the light of the divine self. It is called Aku. Aku means the light, it means spirit. When you're lighting the candle, you're symbolically lighting the spirit within yourself. Lighting the incense. Incense from ancient times, a special incense that comes from Kush, from Nubia, that is used for officiating at the Kemetic ritual. The land of Kush is the land of the origins, the land of the gods and goddesses. Also, that incense, the fragrance of that incense, is symbolic of your personality. You are to burn your personality up. And through the fragrance of that personality, through your righteousness, through your virtue, through your truth, that incense rises up to the divine. And that is your offering to the divine. So the divine can reciprocate to you, bring you prosperity and enlightenment. Next, pouring libation. Libation in the Kemetic ritual is a continuous pouring from one vessel to another, or from one vessel onto the ground, to the earth. The continuous pouring symbolizes the continuous practice of mental thought in the direction of the divine, as opposed to thought towards the world. Now, usually we put a food offering here. If there is any food offering, it can be placed there at the altar. Otherwise, we'll have an astral offering. Then we will continue with the first chant of the daily ritual, the chant of the spoken offering. The spoken offering is a special Kemetic chant. Chant is called Hekau. Hekau means words of power. Words of power are what transform the mind. They transform creation, and they transform your personality. If these words are uttered with the power, with understanding, with feeling, it will transform your life, and it will lead you to spiritual enlightenment, the goal of the teaching. I will chant first, and then you will respond in kind. Attain nesu netra ampu webwat nep tajese perkeru ka ape sineterari maakeru.
Attain nesu netra ampu webwat nep tajese perkeru ka ape sineterari maakeru.
Attain nesu netra ampu webwat nep tajese perkeru ka ape sineterari maakeru.
Attain nesu netra ampu webwat nep tajese perkeru ka ape sineterari maakeru.
Attain nesu netra ampu webwat nep tajese perkeru ka ape sineterari maakeru.
Attain nesu netra ampu webwat nep tajese perkeru ka ape sineterari maakeru.
Attain nesu netra ampu webwat nep tajese perkeru ka ape sineterari maakeru.
Attain nesu netra ampu webwat nep tajese perkeru ka ape sineterari maakeru.
Offering is given to the Supreme Being and to Anpu and to Webwat, Lord of the sacred land. The spoken offering is of 1,000 of beef and 1,000 of geese. Doing this offering causes the divine to make one true of speech. The Hekau is offered 4 times. 4 times symbolizes creation. North, south, east, and west. If you do something 4 times, you have encompassed the whole of creation. And it makes it effective. If you do it 3 times, you leave one side, and you might have a problem coming in, which you don't want. So you want to do 4 sides always. 1,000 of beef and 1,000 of geese. This is symbolic. This is a, those of you who do not know, this is an astral Hetep slab. Hetep, when you say Hotep or Hetep, it is actually an offering table. And perhaps next time I will bring ours, next time I visit. offering table has two items, well, three items. A rolled up mat, a loaf of bread, a haunch of beef, and a goose, one on either side. The goose symbolizes femaleness, and the beef symbolizes maleness. The libation is poured on the heter slab, and the water of the two sides mixes, and it comes down the center. And this symbolizes the unity from duality. You are giving up maleness and femaleness. You're giving up the opposites. You're giving up the separation between you and spirit. When this is done over the offering becomes sanctified. Now, we will continue with the recitation of the Ma'ur Shetaut Neter, the great truth of Shetaut Neter. Pa Neter Ua Nebejer and Neteru.
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 Pa Neter
Pa Neter Ua Nebejer and Neteru.
Pa Neter Ua Nebejer and Neteru.
Amat Sui Sayuset Sekamen.
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 Sewashu Senafu and Sayuset.
Sewashu Senafu Sayuset.
Sewashu Senafu and 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 Sayuset.
Arishedi Dekabe Makeru.
Arishedi Rekabe Makeru.
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 Move now to the daily chants. Om Amurapta.
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 Om Asara Seheru.
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 Om Ati Makeru.
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 Amasur Paneter, Sakswamete Paneter, Adwanuma Keli Paharu.
Amaswin Paneter, Sakuswina Paneter, Atwanima Kiri Paharu.
Amasur Paneter, Sakswamete Paneter, Adwanuma Keli Paharu.
Amaswin Paneter, Sakuswina Paneter, Atwanima Kiri Paharu.
Amasur Paneter, Sakswamete Paneter, Adwanuma Keli Paharu.
Amaswin Paneter, Sakuswin Paneter, Atwanima Kiripaharu.
Atebdis, Sinetiri Metuash.
Atebdis, Neteri Metuash.
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 Duara, 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 Ketra.
Duara, 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 Kepra.
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 You'll skip the divine singing for now, since we will do that at the end. We'll go straight to listening to the teachings. Shetaut Neter. Shetaut Neter, what does it mean? For the last 1,500 years, people all over the world have been fascinated by what they have seen or what they understand to be ancient Egyptian religion. The term itself, Shetaut Neter, Shetaut means hidden, and Neter means divinity. This is the name, the ancient African name for the term religion. It actually means the hidden way of the divine self. By inference, it means how to know the divine self. On the other side of this mystery, this hidden nature, there is Rek, as in Rek Ab and Makeru, the number 4 line of the great truths. Rek means to know. And once something is known, it is not a mystery anymore. But let us, before we get to that, why should we try to know anything? If you are here, clearly you are interested because sometimes people are interested because they're just fascinated by the iconography and how the gods and goddesses look, and the temple and the pyramids, and everything is so exotic and wonderful. Some people are interested because they are older, more mature. They're looking for something deeper in their lives, some kind of deeper spirituality. Other people, they are searching, but they're not really mature, and then, so therefore their search is not mature either. It's very exciting. It's like soda water, soda pop. Everything's exciting and everything's wonderful, and they'll come to a lecture like this and see perhaps other people who are, wearing a nice garb and everything. They're so taken by it. But then when it comes down to the time to really work on oneself and to transform oneself, that's when the childishness emerges. This room that you have created here, I'll say publicly that I'm very pleased with it. In fact, I'm very, very pleased with it. Sorry, but hear me say that it's because and the reason is because there have been many previous attempts, but they've been lacking something, and you here are moving forward, and I'm very pleased to see that. So therefore, I'm very pleased to reciprocate by expounding the teaching to you in the best way possible. This room that you have here, when it is complete, you will see that it symbolizes the outer court of the temple. The temple, the ancient Kemetic temple, has 3 separate sections. You have all these 3 sections are within the temple boundaries, within the temple building boundaries itself. Outside is the world. So outside that door, that is the world. When you come in here, into this first room symbolizes that you are desiring to aspire. That you're saying, I want this for myself. I want to adopt this teaching. I want to follow the Kemetic path. What is it all about? This door here symbolizes the next section of the temple. And that is where this outer section is where you receive the initial teaching that interests you, the teaching that gets you thinking, that gets your devotional feeling. This is where the chanting goes on. This is where the divine singing goes on. This is where the music goes on. Prayers. In this next room is where the high philosophy is disseminated. What you will hear here is not going to be the high philosophy. That will be given to some of you, but not to all. But it's given here in this public session. It will be alluded to. The next section is for those who are, because there are 3 sections of the temple, there are 3 forms of aspirants. The first level of aspiration is called mortals. The next level are the initiates, those who are striving. And the third section of the temple, the innermost section, the inner shrine, that is for those who have received the light. Now, I don't think that just because you don't have the next room here that you cannot progress beyond this level. What I'm saying is that in this public form, the more elevated teaching will not be given in this way. But that will be explained to you later if you progress further. Why should you come here? There are people outside the door. They're bringing offerings, but they're not allowed to come in. And just because you think that the door is open, you must believe that they're not being allowed to come in. There are spiritual forces that are preventing them. People walking the street outside, people driving on I-20, the highway, people going to the football game or baseball game, whatever's going on there. There's something stopping them. Something as if there's a ball and chain on their legs. I'm getting at is that to the very act of being here at this level of the temple is a great attainment in itself. If you never progress in this lifetime beyond this level, you've already attained a very high level. That's what I mean. Just to be asking a question, hey, why There's something wrong with my life, I need something more. Most people don't ask that question. Most people think, oh, this is how it's supposed to be, let me just go along. They put some steak in front of my face, let me just eat it, and let me not think about all the hormones in it, let me not think about any antibiotics, and not think about colon cancer. Let me just eat it. There's a hot dog there, a chicken, whatever it is. But you're showing that you're thinking. Some of you are young in years, some of you are older, but that is not the criteria for acceptance into the mysteries, into the Shetaut. The question is maturity. And maturity as the sign that was put up there. Morals are judged by deeds, the Kemetic proverb. What are your deeds? How do you follow the teaching? How do you implement the act to the best of your ability? Not to mean that you won't fall from time to time or that you might trip up, make a mistake or whatever. How do you pick yourself up and how do you move forward? How do you implement the disciplines into your life? Disciplines that I'm going to discuss in just a minute. Most people are out in the world searching. What are they searching for? Everybody wants happiness, don't they? You want happiness. Do you want somebody to come in here and beat you over the head? No, you don't want that. You don't want pain. You want happiness. Everybody wants happiness. Nothing wrong with happiness. But there's an ancient Kemetic proverb that says, seeking happiness in the world is pursuit of an illusion. Why would the sages say that? Think about it. You get some money. Let's say you even win a lottery. You don't even do it the hard way by earning it. You say you get it. You get a lottery. You can buy a house, buy a car. Next thing you know, you have to get a loan for it because somebody's going to want to take it from you, and you have to worry about that. Get your house, you got to protect it, then you have to pay the taxes on it, you have to pay all the bills, you have to do this, you have to do that. You want to have a love affair? Yes, find someone to love. And after the novelty of meeting them and falling in love wears off, then you start to really know the person. And you say, why did I do this? But yes, you go over that. You say, oh yes, this is love. You have to take the bitter with the sweet. And then, as so many people do, you have your children and you do your hard work, and then you're about to ready to retire, and then your next checkup, they say, oh, you got cancer. Or the stock market fell. Or your daughter had a car crash and died. There's always something in the world. And this something of the world is there to teach you a lesson, to teach you that there is impermanence. The teaching of the Kemetic harper, there's a special writings called the Harper Songs. And the harper, he plays the harp and he sings. You cannot stay in the world. You cannot linger. Those people who go around thinking that they're going to get rich and they're going to do this and they're going to do that, whatever you do, at the end, it is perishable. Perishable means that it doesn't last, that it's going to go away. Go to your museums. Go to your, whatever it is that has been built up here. One day you realize it's all going to be gone. What does that mean then? It's something that you should be fighting for, that you should be striving for. You should be doing something to take care of your practical realities, yes. Pay your bills, all those things, but you should not be making your life out of trying to gain something in this world. There's an ancient saying, it's an Arabic saying now. Man fears time, but time fears the pyramids. Pyramids are the oldest, well, they're not the oldest, the Sphinx is the oldest known monument in the world, in human history, in this human history, because there have been other histories, but in this history. And even that will come to an end. Everything, this whole world will be washed away. And you think, oh, you're going to be smart. Oh, we're going to get into a rocket ship, we're going to throw everything up there and save it. No, the whole universe is going to dissolve into whence it came. What will happen then? If you are in this room, it means that you want to ponder on these questions. The teaching has answers. You must be persistent, you must be tenacious, you must be diligent in the practice of the disciplines that will allow you to have the clarity of mind and body to be able to understand the teaching. So the world is impermanent. What is permanent then? What should be worth your while? What is worth your time, your pursuit? We talked about happiness. I said happiness is good. Happiness is never. The question is, what is happiness? How do you attain true happiness? Usually you think about happiness, you're thinking about something that you can do. I can win a lottery, then I'll be happy. If I fall in love, then I'll be happy. Buy a new car, then I'll be happy. If I have kids, then I'll be happy. If my husband or wife or spouse or lover takes care of me, then I'll be happy. If they make dinner for me, then I'll be happy. Give me a massage, then I'll be happy. We go down the list of all the things that should make you happy. And what happens when that person is tired? Say, oh, I don't feel like getting a massage. When you massage, then you, you don't care for me. You don't, you're not doing this for me. Or you don't have money to go out to the mall to buy whatever you want, so you can't do something. And your concept that has been given to you by the society, by the ignorance of the world, that has been given to you, that happiness is something that you can buy, something that you can do, something you can achieve. What if you're paraplegic? You can't move your arms and your legs. You can't do anything then. You can't be happy. Because of course, you've been taught that being in the world and your body are the reality. But we already said that this is all impermanent. How can something that is not permanent be real and true? Truth is defined as that which is unchanging. Whatever has a beginning has an end. What does not have a beginning and an end? What is it within you that is the same today as it was when you were born, as it will be when you die and beyond? I'll give you I'll give you the answer to that, but let me give you a simile so you can understand better. If you have a tree, see this little tree. If you plant it outside, it grows up to a big tree. You cut it down for wood. You make a chair out of it. In about 50 years, the termites going to eat it out. Chair is gone. It's just a pile of dust. What is real about that material that goes to compose that tree? You don't have a tree anymore. You don't have a chair anymore. You have dust. If you wait a little longer, the dust will go back into the earth and become part of the ground again. Where is the reality in that? In Kemetic theology, there is a term called nu, or pout, either one of those terms. And that means primeval stuff. And that is what everything is composed. This is way before modern physics, which is now telling us that everything is composed of energy, right? So the energy that goes to make up this hat is the same energy that goes to make up that statue, which is the same energy that goes to make your clothes, to make your skin, to make the wall, to make the sun, everything. It appears to be in different forms because of its level of vibration. What is real about the tree in all the three states is the stuff that it's composed of. In the same way, you have something within you that is transcendental, that is absolute, that is constant. There's an ancient Kemetic proverb. Kat erta ba erpet. That means the body belongs to the earth, the soul belongs to heaven. The spirit is the constant. This existence that you have here is temporary. The question is, how did it come to this? How do you come from being transcendental to being temporal, mortal? If you want to stop being mortal, then what do you have to do? You have to go to the striving stage. So you can find out where that lost spirit has gone to. Not really lost, perhaps forgotten. All the disciplines are designed to help you to remember and to discover yourself. And this was the term, know thyself, leka. In that line, there are 4 teachings that I've given, which encapsulate the entirety of the Kemetic philosophy. Not that you can have the great attainment by knowing them. There's a formula you have to explore and to be able to discover the higher meaning of it. The first one, Panete Duawa Nebejada Neteru. First of all, you need to know that Supreme Being is one. There is one divinity behind all creation. That divinity manifests as gods and goddesses. Gods and goddesses, no, Neteru means cosmic forces, cosmic powers, energies. First important teaching, because let's realize the oneness behind all. Even though everything seems to be separate, everything seems to be different, your shirts are white, mine is black. But we said it's all composed of the same stuff. So then what is visual here with the senses is illusory then. How do we learn to see beyond the illusion? And how do we come to fall into this delusion? Anma Tsui, Sayu said, second man. On righteousness leads to the fetters of Set, and that causes ignorance. It is told in the creation myth that in the beginning, human beings were spirits, and they were sent to the earth by God. In the beginning, human beings lived for hundreds of years, thousands of years. And then they began to feel arrogant. It's a long story short, but I'm making the myth short for you right now. And because they didn't have limitations, they started becoming arrogant. Sounds similar to other stories, right? Right? But we're not going to go there today. They began to be arrogant. And then the gods and goddesses went to tell Ra about this. Right? So Ra decided to give them watery encasements. And they say that human body is like 80% water, right? This is thousands of years ago, okay? They gave water encasements. Water encasements, living in the water encasements to give a certain kind of limitation. Along with that limitation, Ra gave one of his daughters to come to creation to help people so they can be on the righteous path. And if they're on that righteous path, it will lead them to enlightenment and to freedom from the watery encasement. And that personality is mine. The deviation from that, unmount, means deviation from mount. The deviation from mount has led to a situation where you are caught up in the desires of the body, in the feelings of the body, in the senses of the body. And you are a slave. And that's called fetters. Fetters are vices. Anger, hatred, greed, lust, jealousy, envy. That's Sai Set. Set is the divinity of the ego personality. And so that unrighteousness has opened the door to those fetters. And when you exist through those fetters, exist through the vision of your body, that prevents you from having the all-encompassing vision of where you truly come from. And that causes sekemen. Sekemen means it causes ignorance. Kemen is ignorance. Kemen is a pun word on the term kem, as in kemet, kamet. Kamet means black land. Kem means darkness, darkness of ignorance. It's another ancient Kemetic proverb. Angere gere kemet. There is no darkness like the darkness of ignorance. When you turn off all the lights in here, close all the windows, be completely pitch black, and even that is not as dark as being ignorant of your true nature, of your true self. Can you see where we're going with this? Why is it worse? Because at least if you're in a dark room, at least you can sit and you can breathe, and you may wonder where you are. If you're in darkness of ignorance, you're going to fall into all kinds of situations that are going to lead you to pain and sorrow. If you think your situation is bad, it can always be worse. Think about people in Hollywood. They're married 10 times. And they have all the money, and then they're so unhappy that they have to do drugs so that they commit suicide, or they ram their car into a pole, or they shoot somebody. Your life could be very miserable. You could be in jail somewhere. People abusing you. There are many worse things than being in a dark room, in a pitch black room. Think about it. And ignorance leads you to, it opens the door for all those things to happen to you. I'm sure you've met people. They think they know what they're doing. They think hey, this stuff belongs to me. I'm going to take it, right? Or to hell with that. I want to feel good today, so let me take my vodka or my cocaine. I want to feel good. I want to enjoy life. Let me eat my ribs. Oh, got a laugh there. No, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure I should be getting a laugh on that one. Unless people identify with it, then we got a problem. Anyway. But you know what I mean. I know where things are at, and that was a struggle. But you must know that the third teaching now will lead you to overcome that struggle. Say washu, say nafu, and sayu se. If you cause uashu means devotion to the divine. It means worship of the divine. If you cause that to be in your life, then that will cause freedom. Nafu means freedom. And also means being able to breathe. When you're in trouble, when you're caught up, you're kupta, you're trapped, you're like in a straitjacket, you can't breathe. That's being held, that's being caught up by the, and that is what's symbolized by the mummy wrappings, the bindings. That is a limitation. Being free from those, that is nafu. And devotion to the divine allows that to open up. Devotion to the world and unrighteousness, that opens up the world of pain. Uashu, devotion to the divine. Devotion means turning your life towards the divine. What is the divine? Instead of trying to know what it means to have a big bank account, you're trying to know what it means to have divinity in your life, goodness, peace. And that is what allows you to break the cycle of the ignorance and to be free from the fetters. How? Teaching number 4. Adi Shedi Rekab and Makeru. If you have devotion towards the divine, that means that you're going to practice the disciplines or live in the way that the divine states for you to live. That means Ari Shedi. Ari Shedi means doing the Shedi disciplines. Shedi disciplines are 4. Practice of listening to the teachings, as you're doing now, all the way up to high teachings. Devotion to the divine, the practice of the devotional ritual, the chants, the divine singing, all this is devotional practice. As well as out in the world, it means loving others as you love yourself. As also means loving nature, taking care not to despoil nature. This is all in the Mount Proverbs. Not lying, not cheating, not stealing, all these kinds of things. And that's the third Shade discipline, which is Ma. And then 4th is meditation. Practice of the meditative discipline. If you do all these things and you don't practice meditation, all these things are going to lead you to a certain level of attainment. You're going to purify yourself to a certain level, but you're not going to break through that glass ceiling that's going to be there. You're going to break through into the next realm of being, the next realm of, which is also symbolized by the next level of the temple. There are 3 basic realms of existence. The physical realm, which is where most people exist in, and it's all they know. That's all they want to know. Many people, they don't want to know anything else, they're afraid. Next level is the astral plane, what we call the dua. And you already live in the astral plane, you experience it when you dream. You're in the astral plane. When you have a waking vision, you're also in the astral plane. The astral plane, you can actually have communion with gods and goddesses. You can have sages come and do teachings. You may see your preceptor at that time. And then there's a 3rd level, the causal plane. Causal plane is called causal because that is where the seed that causes the rest of your existence to become. It causes the thought in your mind, in the astral plane, and then that thought leads you to an action in the physical world. So that's the causal plane. That's the unconscious level. This is waking. The astral plane is the subconscious. Causal plane is the unconscious. Within that unconscious level, there is a fourth plane, which is transcendental. It's not really called a plane. It doesn't exist in time or space. It's called Untitled. And that is located deep within the heart of the unconscious mind, of the third plane of existence. And those who attain that level, they are able to see the nature of the divine and their oneness with creation. And if you have that experience long enough, the complete illusion of time and space is transcended. It's broken. So all the disciplines, listening to the teachings, acting righteously in the world, doing all the chanting and divine singing and the rituals, all this prepares you for that. This is not the goal. This is not the end. Making your wonderful building temple, whether it's wonderful or whether it's a little room somewhere, that is not the goal. But of course, we have our ancestors to look to for a real example. And what I say is that because what they've done by making the great temples, when you go there one day, if you have practiced the teaching properly, when you go there, somebody may have to lead you around by the hand because you might fall into a spontaneous ecstasy by being there because of the iconography, because of the grandeur, because of the size, the sheer size, because of the glory. You're not going to be like the thousands of people that go there every year. They're awed by what they see and how wonderful it was, and it's spectacular. Then they go home to their lives and they act unchanged. They go back to whatever religion they're practicing or whatever it is. That will not be the fate of those who are sincere with the teaching and who work to elevate themselves. So if that is done, you will surely attain the goal of the teaching. And the goal of the teaching is given to us in myth, it is given to us in philosophical scripture. Most of you know the Purdom Haru text, the Book of the Dead. What most people don't realize is that the Book of the Dead is a book of ritual. There are 3 stages of religion that need to be practiced by everyone who wants to grow spiritually. First, there's the level of myth. Again, this is where we have the 3 sections of the temple. The Trinity runs through all of the work of the temple. This is the perfection of that teaching. First, you have a myth. Myth is that part of your spirituality that gives you an insight into the culture of it, gives you insight into the origins. It relates you to that culture. It also has a special language that gives you insight into the purpose of life. The most important myth, there are several, but the most important myth of the Shetaut Neter is the myth of Asar. Asar was the first king of Kemet. after the creation, after this creation, shall we say, there are many cycles of creation. After this last creation, Ra came into being in the form of Khepri. Khepri is, the beetle god. Beetle because beetle emerges and pushes its little ball along, pushing the sun over the horizon. Lord Khepri created creation, emerged from the primeval ocean, created creation. He gave the spiritual teaching to Jehuti. Some erroneously read the name as Tehuti. Jehuti. Jehuti is the divinity of mind. He codified that teaching into what is called the hieroglyphic text, which is called Shetaut Neter. And then Asar took that teaching, that codified teaching, and he created Shetaut Neter. He instituted the rituals that are to be practiced. He instituted all the procedures for conducting the work of the temple, for doing all of the everything that is necessary to devote yourself to the divine. Asar instituted that. So Lord Khepri is the creator, and he brought the teaching to the world. So he is, as it were, the father of Shetaut Neter. Lord Jehuti codified the teaching, and eventually you'll see hieroglyphic text all here. You're already starting to see some here. You begin to learn about it. And Lord Asar instituted the Shetaut, the mysteries. So that is myth. And I actually began to talk a little bit about the next level, which is ritual. Ritual is that aspect of spirituality that supports the myth. When we do the offering, that symbolizes the offering that was done in ancient times. The myth goes that Asar became the king, but his brother was jealous. It's going to sound familiar to a lot of you also, again. His brother was jealous and killed him. And then he was resurrected. The rituals are the rituals of resurrection. The offering, the arit. Arit means offering. Arit also means the eye. The food offering. What is to be offered? Bread, wine. 5000 BC, we have the Eucharist, the Kemetic Eucharist. The offering is the reconstituted eye of Haru, the eye of inner vision. That is the offering that you're trying to make. Symbolically through the bread, symbolically through the wine, symbolically through the bread. And if that ritual is performed correctly, if your action merges with your understanding, with your devotion, then there will be the emergence of wisdom, of understanding. There will be the emergence of mysticism, metaphysics. So I'm getting you to understand is that what most people are practicing in the world is not the full practice of religion. It's like if you have a tripod for the camera, but you only have one leg, what's going to happen? And this is why there is conflict in the world. This is why there's misunderstanding in the world. This is why there's anger and hatred amongst people of different religions, as well as within their own religions. People cannot grow even within your own same religion. Because this is supposed to be a Christian country. You can have a Muslim country, you can have any country. In fact, you can have Kemetic followers too. And if you do not practice the full program of religion, you're going to fail too. There's going to be fighting in here, arguing, because you're not fully devoting yourself to the divine. You're not working to eradicate the fetters from yourself. And so those are going to remain, and those are going to be what are going to lead you to conflict with others. Conflict within yourself. Self-hatred, self-doubt, ignorance, misunderstanding. So therefore, it's important for you to understand. If you stand still, your life, the negative aspect of your life catches up with you, pulls you down, destroys you. You have to move forward. You have to elevate yourself. And that is what the practice of Shetaut Neter is all about.